Hey everybody, welcome back in the shed. I'm Troy Shaw, and with me, as always, is Mr. Dave Griffiths. What's up, Dave?
Oh, not too much, Troy. I'm doing pretty good. The weather report is that, we always do this, is that I think fall is kind of fallen, finally.
It feels good. We've had some rain, but the weather's cool, and Holly has picked the perfect time to be in the shed because the temperature is perfect.
How was, by the way, how was Halloween with the kiddos?
It was good. Good.
Oh,
got a lot of candy.
Those pictures.
We all got sick right after that. But,
From the candy?
Well, no, not necessarily from the candy, but Ava can't even look at candy anymore.
You picked something up, and you were laid up for a little while.
And then Ava had strep. So.
No razor blades or anything like that?
We didn't give me that. No,
that's good.
Not this year, no. Anyway, today we are very, very happy and pleased to have in the shed Holly Tucker. How you doing, Holly?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're doing great. We're so happy you're here with us today. I mean, we finally have a big star in the shed.
Aww.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming.
Shucks, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, most people probably know you and remember you from The Voice. I mean, that's kind of like, that's for a Waco area, for somebody to be on The Voice, that's pretty amazing. But let's go back to you're from Lorena, right?
Yeah.
What kind of got you into music?
Yeah, tell us about the young Holly and what got you going on.
Yeah, it started from a very early age, really. Both of my parents were singers and musicians themselves, and so they had a band growing up, and that's how they met, was through music. And when they decided to have a family, they were still singing and at weddings and churches and stuff like that. So I would always watch them on stage, and I just was always intrigued by it. And I picked up singing from about 2 years old, is what my parents say, and just started doing it just every now and then, and around the house. And then I would the first time I got on stage, I was 7 years old. So
where was that?
That was at actually First Baptist Woodway here in Waco.
Okay.
My home church, yep. And so I just started doing it from about the time I was 12 to up until The Voice. I was on the road, and I had made several albums on my own, and so yeah, I mean, it's just been a lifelong thing for me.
Well, you were going to Baylor. I mean, you graduated and you went to Baylor.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your experience at Baylor and what it taught you. And you have a degree now, am I correct?
I do, yeah. I graduated a year ago in 2015 and got my degree in communications, sick and bears. And I always tell people, that really, just degree in communications means that I don't really know anything, but I can make that really clear. So, it's useful. So.
Yeah, that's not. I got a degree. I guess it's communication. I got a graphic design degree, so we're
that's in that field. Yeah.
Sure enough.
But that's useful, though. Graphic design, that's useful.
It's still paying the bills.
Yes, exactly.
So, Holly, what do you see as the pros and cons of being an artist in Central Texas?
My fan base here, especially, on The Voice and everything, like Waco as a whole has really come through for me in several different times when I've really needed them. Obviously the main one being when I was on the show and they voted for me, and that's how I made it all the way to top 6. But my hometown has always shown up for me. They've come to my concerts, they've bought my albums, and I mean, it's just been it's been an amazing thing to say that I'm from such a great place, and so that's definitely a pro. The only con I can really think of is that there's not enough of a music scene around here. I mean, it's getting better. We've got Melody Ranch, and for country music, we've got Melody Ranch, The Backyard. So I mean, it's expanding a little bit, but we could always use more.
Yeah, the music scene in Waco has always been up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
Well, how did you decide to try out for The Voice?
Well, so 16 is the age when you can try out for these shows, and so I started when I was 16 trying out for all of them that you can think of.
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, America's Got Talent, American Idol, X Factor, all of them.
And how did you try? Did you go to different locations, or did you send in tapes, or
they have original?
Are they all different?
They're all different. You can send in tapes. You can opt out for different things, but I chose to always go to the open call auditions. They were for anybody, and you just sign up for a time and go. And so that's what I did. On The Voice especially, I just I had tried out for season 1, but I mean, all of this time I had just kept getting told no. And I had gotten about 6 or 7 times going and trying out for these things, just getting told no. So I was really discouraged about it, and I just, I was like, I'm not going to do these anymore. I'm not even going to try out. What's the point? And so one day I was in Dallas, and the voice auditions were in town, and I just thought, well, what's another no? Let me go and just try. So I did it, and I kept getting callback after callback after callback, and eventually made it.
Tell us about that day when you tried out. I mean, what was it? Did you wait in line for 5 hours, or did you already have because you had done this so many times before, did you have sort of a pass closer to the front of the line, or how did that all work?
So with The Voice in particular, when you go to open call audition, you just fill out a little form or whatever online, and then they give you a time. And so I had found out the day before that the auditions were going to be in town, and so I signed up, and they told me to be there at between 1 and 4, and so I obviously showed up at
kind of like when you sign up for to get cable.
So you showed up at 11.
Yeah, so I was there at 11, because the line I thought was going to be crazy, and it was, but they let us into the stadium or whatever. It was in Irving, and there was me and 7,000 other people at that location.
Holy smokes.
and yeah, it was a lot, but then they just shuttled us through, and we auditioned for producers and stuff like that.
So they just kind of just bring you in, and you just sing whatever you want to sing,
or do they give you a song
to sing?
To show your goods?
Well, so the way that it works is for The Voice anyway, is that you the producers are running it. Basically, they're doing the auditions before the blind auditions, so they get to see if you have a good story, if you will make good TV, all that good stuff. And so what you do is you go in and audition for those people, and it's about 10 of you in a room at the same time, and they basically tell you step up and sing for 30 seconds and then sit back down, and at the end of it we'll tell you who made it and who didn't. And that's what happened with me.
Wow.
So out of the 10, you were the one that made it, and then you start over again, I guess.
Yeah, then if
they bring you back at a different time.
Yes, they bring you back. For me, they brought me back and did an on-camera interview.
Same day or a different day?
Different day. And then after that callback was a callback to LA for the executive producers, one last round. And then after that was the blind auditions.
I'm most curious about these kind of things. When you get called back for a audition in LA, do they pay for your plane ticket and all that kind of stuff to go up there?
Yes, they do. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
At least The Voice. I don't know about any of the other shows, but The Voice takes care of us.
So by the time you got to LA, how many people were auditioning for that part for the producers for the show? 1,000? 500?
No, not that many. There were 40,000 people that auditioned all across the U.S. And then whenever the executive auditions, it got time for that. There were, I think, 150 of us, and 120 of those got to actually go on to the blind auditions and try out. Not all of those made it, obviously, but.
So at this part, real quick. So when you're doing these auditions, are there cameras around? Are there cameras from the very beginning when you first start auditioning? Are there cameras around video on that, like the audition you did in Dallas? Are there cameras there, or is this kind of like before cameras are even involved?
No, this is before cameras are ever even involved. They don't show. Well, after you make the executive rounds, they do a whole package on you. So they interview you for hours, trying to get a good story put together. And then
they go to your home, and do they do all that too? And
some
video?
Of it, yeah. Whatever your story is. My story was that I was the band nerd at Baylor University. Not that mean, they were obviously nicer about it, but I was the band person in the Golden Wave band at Baylor, and they like to capitalize on that. So, yeah, they filmed me a lot around Baylor.
So
and
you
stuff.
told them all about your band camp stories and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, this one time at band camp. Mm-hmm.
Well, were you confident that you had the goods laid out in front of millions of viewers? I mean, there had to be some kind of trepidation about this.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was always nerves, but nerves for me have always made me better, and they give me that edge that I need to stand out, really. And for me, it's always been a thing. I have butterflies before every performance, but as soon as I step on that stage and I sing my first note, it just all goes away.
You're a pro.
Thank you.
So when you performed on The Voice, you had Shakira, Usher, Adam Levine, and Blake Shelton as the judges.
Yes.
And Blake was the last one to turn his chair around.
Yes.
Yet you chose him as your coach.
Yes.
Why did you decide to hitch your wagon to Blake?
Well, I mean, the simplest answer is that I am a country artist, and it makes the most sense, that pairing. And I take my music very seriously. I'm not one of those people that's just like, oh, spur of the moment, okay, Shakira's way off my map, so I'm going to pick her. No, I'm definitely not like that. I want my music, I know myself, and I want my music to go down the path that I dream of, and that's in country music.
Your performances were stellar, I'll say.
Thank you.
As we watched today. At this point, it's pretty subjective as everyone's killing it.
Yeah.
You still feel it was best to sidle up to Blake?
100%.
Really?
Yes, I know without a shadow of a doubt if I had gone with any other coach, I would not have made it as far.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Very confident.
What did he do to give you the confidence, and what kind of tips did he give you?
He never really gave me a whole lot of vocal tips, but as far as performance and coming out of my shell, when I got on the show, I was really shy and afraid to be myself and afraid to put that out there because, I've been ridiculed before. I've been made fun of, and that never feels good.
By who?
Well, just by high school boys and middle school, all the cliques and stuff like that. So I've gone through that, and doing it on a national scale was something that did scare me.
Yeah, because everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
how old were you when you were on the show?
I was 19.
19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were going to Baylor at the time.
I was, yeah, and I
How'd you get out of classes to do all that kind of stuff?
I didn't actually. I did. I stayed in school the whole time. While I was on the show, I was actually doing homework in my hotel room.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing,
That's one of my other big dreams is getting my degree from Baylor. So
gotcha.
yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So what goes on behind the scene on those shows? Is there a lot of downtime, a lot of sitting around backstage?
Yes.
What? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there's a ton of downtime. Okay, so, our schedules would vary, day to day because they'd have us do different things, but, and it was nice to have the downtime, honestly, but sometimes we would have call times for hair and makeup and wardrobe at 6 a.m., and our rehearsal wouldn't be until 11, but we had to be there that early because there's 10 or 12 of us, and they had to get all of us through, so, yeah, it was sometimes like that.
So the band's got to be really great band that's backing you up in that stuff.
Stellar, yes.
Right? Just all pros.
Is the voice live? Is it live the whole time?
No.
But I think the performances, I don't think they're editing a whole lot. Basically the bands are all pros. They got sheets, I'm sure, and they know your song, and you get a chance to run through it with them.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of practice with the band every week.
So how long does a typical 1-hour show take to record?
Well, it depends because when you watch the show, you know how you see the contestants talking about their song of the week and why they chose it and what's going to happen and how afraid they are, whatever. Well, that's done all behind the scenes. So, if you count up all of the time that it takes to make one episode, it's a lot. Yeah. There's all the interviewing, there's the rehearsal time, there's the on-camera stuff and the off-camera stuff.
But you record a lot of it in front of a live audience, correct?
Well, not the interview part.
Not the interview, but the actual performance.
Yeah, the performance, yeah, absolutely.
So the interview part is going on before the show kind of even, the live part even starts.
And they're going to edit that in on the front.
Yes.
Right now, I'm just really curious about the voice. I'm curious about the whole, that whole, those kind of shows and just, all that kind of stuff. It's really fascinating to me how it all works. Yeah. My mom was on The Price is Right when I was,
no kid,
10 years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did she get to come on down?
Yeah, she came on down. She got on stage. She won $1,000 on the big wheel, and she was in the Showcase Showdown.
Did she invest that money and then
she didn't win? No. We probably had to pay bills with it, at that time.
Responsible.
Anyway, I remember her calling the day, it was during the summertime. She was in California for work, and she called and said, "Hey, I was just on The Price is Right." And we're like, "No, you weren't. We just watched The Price is Right."
Yeah.
Because that's when we had like 2 or 3 stations, But then I realized my mom said it was so weird because when they have the music when they come down, dun, 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 and they run down.
Yeah.
She goes, "There's no music."
Yeah.
She goes, "It's totally. It takes the whole." I don't know, what do you call it? Just the fun out of it, because you're just running down.
You know why?
And there's a lot of editing and there's a lot of breaks and all that kind of stuff.
Because if they were playing the music in front of a big thing, it would sound like garbage. So
I know. But when you're 10 years old, you don't know that shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I have to tell Tama next time I see her that. I think I remember seeing you like in 1979.
No, it was 1981.
Well, I was close.
Yeah. She won a dining room set that we still have.
Really?
That's crazy.
She still has the plates. She won a pearl necklace, and she lost the showcase showdown by $200.
Oh.
She went over?
She went over by $200.
Dang.
Yeah.
Bad luck.
Anyway, back to Holly.
I think she's more famous than your mom, but maybe not for long.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, well, you're very gracious, and I think everyone saw that on The Voice. And, you went out, what were you, number 6 when you went down?
I was, mm-hmm.
You feel like you got booted too early?
When I was on there, I was really happy with all of the performances that I had shown thus far. And I really wanted to make it one more week because that was going to be the week of hometowns. That was when I would have gotten to show off Waco a little bit more, and I would have gotten to do a special song for one of my family members. And I had a whole idea going for that, and I was really excited. So I do kind of sometimes regret that I didn't at least make it one more week. But
do you think you got booted too early?
Of course she does.
I don't want to say that, though. No, like it.
Of course.
We did.
Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win. But I mean, God has His plan, and I believe that 100%.
Did you make friends with the other contestants on the? Would you call them contestants?
Yes.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
On the show, or was there any jealousy, anything backstage that you don't see in the?
Not that I know of. And now they did say, like, a lot of the producers and the backstage, like, runners or whatever, they did tell us that our season was the friendliest season that they had ever seen up to that point.
Oh, so there is a little cattiness.
It has been in the past,
sure.
But at least our season was super friendly, and I think honestly it's because a lot of us were country.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Not a coincidence.
I would say that, yeah.
Well, why don't you play us a song? What do you think?
Yeah.
Sounds
Let's
good.
do it. I want to play a song for y'all called Dallas on Your Boots. This is on my brand new album, Steel. And basically, if you ever tried to be with somebody who cannot get over somebody from their past, this is the song for you. So, here we go. This is called Dallas on Your Boots. I met you just across the county line, where forever fields go out to meet the sky, with a sad song spinning in the background, like the one that's playing here right now. And win or lose, I was gonna make you mine, but nothing's changed. There's no escape from knowing you still got a little Dallas on your boots, still got a little heavy on your heart, still holding on to things that you don't want to lose. Baby, you still got a little lonely in your eyes, like you never really ever said goodbye. I wanna be the one to love you, but you still got a little Dallas on your boots. Well, sometimes I can see you miles away, and everything you're thinking is written on your face. You're still holding on to what you left behind. Until you let it go, you're always gonna find that you can't love me like you want to, and I don't want just part of you. But you still got a little Dallas on your boots, still got a little heavy on your heart, still holding on to things that you don't want to lose. Baby, Dallas on your boots. Oh, oh, oh. A little Dallas on your boots. Ooh,
Well, that was pretty amazing.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Good job.
Man.
So, Holly, after The Voice was over, what was the transition from The Voice to the next part of your career? I mean, what happened? You I guess you came back to Waco and kind of going from there.
Yeah, so coming back from The Voice, there were two things that I was really working hard on, and one was obviously the creation of this new album that I just released 4 months ago. It took me 3 years to finish because of money and getting all the right songs together and stuff like that.
Were you writing a lot of these songs?
I wrote 5 of them. Mm-hmm.
Right,
yeah, so I was a big part of this one, and I'm so grateful for that. But so there was that, and then I also really wanted to graduate Baylor, so that took me 2 of those years. And yeah, so it was just full-time music and full-time school after The Voice, and now I'm just doing music full-time, and it's great. I love it, every second of it.
So you went up to Nashville for something, and Nashville has kind of a reputation of being a meat grinder when it comes to new talent, right?
Yeah.
Are you confident of your management and what it takes to make an imprint, or what were you doing up there?
So Nashville, for me right now, I am a Texas country artist. I'm Texas born and raised. I'm proud to be in the Texas country genre. My sound doesn't necessarily fit the mold, which is why I think I'm going to be able to make an imprint on this genre. But I do still go to Nashville because I love to make new connections there with different songwriters and producers, and I do a lot of background vocal work up there for people, and it's just a place, it is Music City for a reason, and when you go there, for me anyway, I just get so inspired, and usually the best songs that I've been a part of come out of my time when I'm in Nashville.
Do you work with some songwriters up there?
I do. I co-write a lot, actually. There's about 20-25 people that I try to rotate around every time I go and see, hey, can you meet me for a songwriting appointment? Hey, can you songwrite with me? Stuff like that.
So talk about the songwriting process when you go to Nashville and you meet some songwriters up there. What goes on in the songwriting room exactly?
Well, it's different every time, honestly. It just depends on the personalities of the people involved. So I guess a typical songwriting appointment would go where you meet 1 or 2 other people in a room, and then you all start talking, catching up on each other's lives, real chill, real good like that. But you just you start talking about, well, hey, what do you want to write about today? And then every person throws out ideas. And so do you bring some ideas you've had from before, or are they all fresh ideas? They're all fresh ideas, but I do keep a note in my phone with song ideas that I have that I'd like to write in the future, and so that does help.
How does that work though with copywriting and stuff like that? If you have multiple influences coming in or multiple songwriters, maybe somebody's writing a voice and a verse. I'm hung up on the voice. But if you wrote a verse and somebody else wrote a verse and then you recorded it later, but somebody is there any situation there where it becomes a spider web of credits?
Yeah, I mean, some songwriters are more I'm thinking of a word right now, and I really don't want to use it.
Trying to be so diplomatic.
Yeah, some songwriters are more picky than others about getting equal credit on the song, and each songwriter writing equal parts of the song. But for the most part, everybody is very relaxed, and the rule goes, if you're in the room while the song is being written, you're one of the writers on the song. Even if you didn't even participate one bit, as long as you're there, you're credited on the song. How do you think that some of these major artists get their names on their songs? Yeah.
Well,
now we know.
Now we know the secrets are out.
Not always. Now, sometimes they are really good writers and everything, but every now and then, the joke goes, write a word, get a third. which means like if you
and then you got the music side of it. If you're working chord progressions or whatever, regardless of, do you actually try to nail down a style? Because you're a Texas country music singer as opposed to a Florida Georgia line writer that's coming out with something real poppy.
When it comes to songwriting, you try, well, it's like I said, it's different every time, but you try to write for a specific purpose, and eventually, like hopefully in the process, you all nail down what that one purpose is. Sometimes it is like, we're going to write a song for Florida Georgia line, and we need to make it sound like that, and that's what it ends up being, you know. But other times it's completely ambiguous. It could be more of a style for like Pink or Prince or something like that. And yeah, I mean, somebody has to sing it. But the good thing for me is
or Beyonce doing daddy lessons.
Yes, or Beyonce doing daddy lessons. Yeah. But for me, that's my strength in the songwriting process, is being able to take the words that we've written all together and really interpret it, make it sound like it's a real song that you would hear on the radio and make people feel it.
So in the songwriting room, are everybody sitting around in a circle with acoustic guitars and with notepads, and they're just writing lyrics? And are you more of a lyricist and come up with a melody to some songs, or what do you bring to the songwriting process when you go to Nashville?
I like the lyric part of it, and I do try to contribute to that, but I'm definitely more of a melody person. It's just, I don't know what it is. Everybody has their different strengths, and some people can spit out lines like you wouldn't believe, and I'm just so jealous of them because I'm just like, I wish I could do that. That's talent. But yeah, I'm more of a melody person.
So when you're writing these songs, do lyrics come first, or is somebody like, hey, I got this little chord progression, let's play it for a second, and then you come with, hey, I kind of got a melody to that, and kind of go from there. Talk about how that works.
Yeah, it can happen all sorts of ways. It can happen where they do have the music first and they have a chord progression going on, or sometimes it's lyrics. But a lot of the time they come together at the same time. You just try to write it that way.
Have you ever been in the songwriting room and a song just kind of appeared out of nowhere? Like all of a sudden the music is there, the lyrics are there, and like 30 minutes later you have a finished song. Is that how it works, or does it take time to create some of these songs?
I have yet to experience one of those 30-minute songs. That would be awesome, but no, for us.
Or does it take days, and you come back the next day and you go, hey, let's remember that song we were working on yesterday. Let's work on it today and try to finish it.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you go into a room and you only get a verse and a chorus, and you just have to leave it because you got to let it sit and marinate for a little bit, using cooking analogies. But for the average, I always allow for 4 hours for a songwriting appointment, and usually we can get one song written.
It seems like a lot of pressure to go into a room. I mean, for me, because usually when I've written songs in the past, they come in the weirdest places. I mean, I can be.
So you're almost forcing that creativity upon yourself at some point, because you got all these people, and you got it. How do you get in that zone?
They're professionals at it. They do it every day.
But how about you?
For me, yeah, it's a little harder to get into that creative process, because I don't do it every day. But I take it as an opportunity to learn from these people that do. And
they can probably take little ideas that you bring, because since they do it every day, they probably got the procedure down, and okay, we're going to do this, and this is how it flows.
Yes.
And then you bring something in that might be a little bit different, that might make that push the song over the top, I guess.
Exactly, and they have definitely told me that before, that it's just like sometimes these writers in Nashville, some of them have to crank out 10-15 songs a week because that's their job. Literally, that's what they do. They write songs. And I could never ever do that. That's not my strength.
Probably could, but it would probably be crappy
good.
Songs.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. And so whenever somebody new can come in that's not in that world, it's definitely a spark to the creativity.
It's easy to write a song, but it's hard to write a good song.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, I mean, are you writing more songs up there or down here?
Definitely up there. Mm-hmm.
Really?
When I'm down here, I focus on playing, And, I focus on networking and playing, basically, because that's how I make my money.
How often are you going up to Nashville?
I go up to Nashville for about a week at a time every other month or so. So that's
Good.
about 5-6 times a year.
Do you get paid to go write songs, even if those songs don't, or so
come to fruition?
Yeah. I mean, do they pay you to come up there and help write songs, or if a song is somebody records a song and it becomes
she's going up there paying
hit.
her dues is what she's doing, right?
So the people that get paid to write songs every day are signed to a publishing company.
Right.
And it's the same thing as being signed to a record label, except here, with a record label, your job is to be an artist. With a publishing company, your job is to write songs, and write hit songs, and write songs for artists that are popular. So they do that every day. I don't do that every day. I'm not on a publishing company, so I get to write songs for me a lot of the time. But, I get to think outside the box because I'm not in that, forced to write situation.
You're not in that box of having to go in and
So when you're writing a song with these other guys up there and you've got a complete song and you're like, man, that's an awesome song. What kind of pull do you have to say, I want that song? Or are those songs for the bigger stars?
They're for anybody.
Whoever wants to buy them, I guess, right? I mean, is that how it works?
I mean, well, it's not necessarily about buying them. It's just that, usually when I get in the room with songwriters, we're writing for a specific purpose, like I said. And so if it's for me, then we'll label it as that.
I got you.
But they can also pitch it to artists like me, like that sound like me, like maybe like Martina McBride or Carrie Underwood, and they can pitch them to those people. It's better for all of us if a big artist records our song because then we make money.
Yeah, exactly.
So with me, I'm not to that level yet. So when I record a song, I don't sell millions of albums and, make that much money off of it. So, not as much as they do anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, take us through a typical week of Holly Tucker. Like you told me that Monday and Tuesday were media day in San Antonio. What exactly does that mean?
Well, that's not an every week thing. That just happened to happen this week.
Because your album came out.
Yes, we are heavily promoting my album right now, so we're doing a lot with media.
What's the name of your album?
It's called Steel, like the metal steel. And we're doing a lot of news stations, a lot of newspaper and magazine articles, and we're just trying to get the word out about this album because this is the album that's going to establish me in this genre.
Are you doing any Waco TV stations in the morning or anything like that?
I have, yeah. I've been.
I saw you on TV before.
Yeah, I've
been. At 7 in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it is early, and I'm not a morning person. Mm-hmm. But KWTX is really good about having me on, and so is Channel 25, KCEN too. So.
All right. Well, Waco loves you. Following your performances on The Voice, you were really kind of treated to a hero's welcome here in Waco when you played, the Bosque River stage. I think I remember. You probably remember that. It was, I think, overflowing, sold it out. That had to feel good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the first time that, being on the show and everything, I had gotten messages and phone calls, and I'd seen pictures of the watch parties and all that. But
I think it was the biggest crowd they ever had out there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, they had like couple thousand people or something.
Yeah, definitely. But getting to come home for the first time in 3 months, I was out there for 3 months. I got to really feel all of that support and see it firsthand, and that was indescribable.
It had to feel good.
Yeah,
for sure,
it really did.
Well, Holly, do you have any laments, or are you pretty happy with the grass on your side of the fence?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
That's why
You're welcome.
Damien asked.
I mean, I have to daily remind myself how blessed I am to be in the position that I am and to have had the opportunities that I have. And I know that with the path that we're on right now, it's only going to get better. And I have faith in that. Yes, there are days when I get a little bit down, and we all have those days when we think, man, I really wish I wish I had what they had, or I wish I'm doing what they are doing. And it's just like, you can't get lost in that, because then you'll never make it to where you want to be if you're always looking at what somebody else is doing.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. We've got another song that I don't know if it's on your album, but we did a little music video for Waco Transit. We can talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to come out on. They're going to put it on
Troy
Facebook.
shot me the video. It's really great.
Yeah.
Talk about that. You said that was one of the first songs that you had written by yourself. Is that true?
Yes, that is probably.
And what gave you the idea for the song? Waco Transit, riding the bus?
No, actually, I don't really know. I had the idea written down in my little note thing in my phone of song ideas, and I just had the title written down, Hometown Heart, and then I started writing a verse to it, and I was thinking about all the different people that make up Waco and make up these little communities that
Was this before they approached you to do the song for Waco Transit? Or
no, this was after. Okay. I knew I was going to have to write a jingle or a song for Waco Transit, and I wanted to have that specifically in my mind when I was writing. So that's what I did. They petitioned me to do it and to go for it and see what I could come up with, and that's
great.
That's what I started doing.
She basically... No, I mean, they gave you a framework and you filled the bill and made some money, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were very sweet to make sure that I had everything I needed for the song and for the video production and all of that. And Troy, you did a great job on it.
They hired the best to shoot it and edit it.
Yes, absolutely. It looks beautiful, and I can't wait for people to see it.
I can't wait for people to see it, too. The song is awesome. And
it's cool. I mean, the whole concept
the whole thing is really cool, yeah. It's going to be, I can't wait for the world to see it. So we'll probably get 1 million views.
That's right. It's going to go straight to the top. You know it will.
But the production on it is great. Your voice is great. Everything. I mean, I think we matched with the video. It's going to really...
So you probably just lip-synced it, right?
To the video, uh-huh.
Yeah. We shot it. It was 2 days of shooting.
It doesn't look lip-synced.
It was a lot of shooting. I mean, it's probably... Because I've done quite a few music videos, and this was the I've never taken this much time to shoot a music video. And with this many people. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you have people getting on the bus.
Getting on the bus. We should have been waiting for the bus all day. Been waiting for the bus all day.
Dang it, y'all are showing me up. Y'all can't do that now.
Well, tell people about your album real quick and what they can expect from it and where to get it and all that kind of good stuff.
So my album is called Steel. I released it 4 months ago, and it's a full-length project. It has 13 songs on it. I was a part of writing 5 of those songs, and it's just every single song is a little piece of me. You're going to get to know the real, genuine Holly Tucker, who she is, what she's about through these songs, and that's all I can say about that. You're just going to have to buy it and listen to it for yourself.
Well,
so the band was kick-ass?
Oh, yeah. It was, I recorded the project in Nashville, and there's just nothing else like a project done there. It's great. But you can actually get it and find all of my other information on this brand new free app that I have on Google Play and iTunes. It's just, you search Holly Tucker and you'll find it. And it has links to all of my social media, all of my events, where I'm playing, where you can find me, and also all of the links to my music. So it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music, iTunes, and Google Play and stuff like that too. Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Well, why don't you play a song from that album?
I'd love to. Can I play my current single?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Well, this song is called You're in Texas, and I wrote this with a couple of really good friends of mine, Janae Fleener and Buddy Owens, and we got in the room and they asked me what I wanted to write about, and I said, well, I'm a Texas girl singing Texas country music, and I think it's only right that I have a song about all the best things in Texas. So that's what we did, and here's the song, You're in Texas. This is my current single, so I hope y'all like it. If you hear twin pedals and a crying steel guitar, a good old country shuffle coming out of every bar, there ain't no question, you know you're in Texas. If a long tall cowboy asks you for a dance and you two-step the night away to a honky-tonkin' band, Bob Wills holler through your plate of Q. I've been chicken fried and pecan pie and hit that old drive-thru for a Whataburger breakfast. You know you're in Texas. Well, did you get a little weird in Austin? Catch a Houston rodeo, steal a handful of blue bonnets, walk through the Alamo. If you hear twin pedals and a crying steel guitar, there ain't no doubt about it. You should know right where you are if you find you where the best is. You know you're in Texas, the state you don't mess with. Yeah, you know you're in Texas.
Woo, awesome.
Sweet.
Woo, that was great.
Sweet.
Love that song.
Yay.
Well, we want to thank Holly Tucker for being in the shed this evening. We've had a great time, and I hope you enjoyed it, Holly.
Yeah, y'all were so much fun. Thank y'all for having me.
Well, thanks
Thanks.
for
Spread the word.
Spread
A great interview, though. And
you.
I guess we'll see you next time
in the shed.
in the shed.